Today, when people talk about Ignatian spirituality or Jesuit spirituality, they are usually thinking about certain ideas and values that were characteristic of St. Ignatius Loyola and the Jesuit order that he founded. Ideas like finding God in all things, or discernment of spirits, or the greater glory of God. And when they talk about Ignatius the man, they usually refer to him as a pilgrim, mystic, and layman. Now, people might be surprised to learn that before the 20th century, Jesuits did not talk that way. They thought of Ignatius as a soldier, a priest, an ascetic, and they said that his primary values were obedience and discipline. So what happened? Why the change? To a large degree, the answer has to do with a little book, the autobiography of St. Ignatius, called A Pilgrim's Testament. For 450 years, most Jesuits did not even know that this book existed. It had collected dust on a forgotten shelf in the archives of the Society of Jesus. The Jesuits rediscovered it in the 1970s, and when they read it, it revolutionized their understanding of Ignatian spirituality. To tell the truth, the book is not really an autobiography in the modern sense of the word, even though Jesuits and friends like to call it that. Ignatius made no effort to try to cover all the major periods in his life, starting with his childhood and family. Instead, he wanted to highlight some pivotal moments in his life that transformed his ideas about God and how he wanted to love and serve God. So Ignatius begins his story with his injury at Pamplona when he is already 30 years old. He describes in detail his conversion experience at Castle Loyola, and then he tells the story of his pilgrimage to Jerusalem. Even though that trip represents only 2 years of Ignatius's life, he spends almost half his book on the things that happened to him there and back. This in itself should tell us something. More than anything, Ignatius wanted to emphasize that he had learned about God from experience. So he emphasized the many mistakes that he made along the way, and what he learned from his mystical experiences and from other people. By experience, Ignatius did not mean that he had learned about God from scratch. He already knew much about God from his family and his Catholic education. But to a large degree, it was a head knowledge that had not yet touched his heart. For example, he knew in an abstract theoretical way that he was a sinner loved by God, but he did not really know it here in his heart or in his bones. In order for God to change his life, Ignatius would have to come to know all these things in a vital, holistic, heartfelt way. In the spiritual exercises, Ignatius calls this an interior knowledge of God. That's the purpose of the spiritual exercises, to bring people to this interior knowledge. And that's why Ignatius dictated a Pilgrim's Testament, to show you how he got there.